It has been one tough year in 2022. Quite a lot of significant people, who said their final farewells, and I didn't realize how many high-level, important people passed away this year. And, well, given the fact that it is New Year's Eve and we're just a few hours, at least in my neck of the woods, I guess, what would that be, 7-8 hours before? I don't know where it's going to slot in on the day. So this is getting recorded a couple of days prior, okay? So just calm down for a second. So in the waning hours of 2022, we will say goodbye and read through this fairly extensive list of all of the people that passed away this year. I covered a couple of them in a few different videos that were out there, especially, the first picture that's up there, I dedicated a couple of days to that, because that one right there is, even at the time when I said it, it's probably the most significant death that I will experience in my lifetime, like outside of just, personal feelings with family and friends and all that stuff. But the Queen passing away earlier this year, well, she'll get her due here in a second. So notable people we said goodbye to in 2022. And obviously the next video is going to be kind of the whole, big news events. I'll give a nice little round out on that. But as of right now, one of the first subjects that really caught fire for me personally, and not trying to, make this all about me, but, somebody everybody knew if you grew up in the 90s, okay, whether through America's Funniest Home Videos or through Full House, everybody knew the name Bob Saget. And he was, I guess, easily the first big name to pass away in 2022. Actor, comedian, television host Bob Saget died on January 9th at the age of 65. He just fell on his headboard with such velocity that it cracked his skull. Yeah, I don't really know about that. Do we actually have any sort of conclusive evidence as to what happened there? I don't know, man. I think the case is closed, but the answers, they have yet to materialize. Saget is perhaps best known for his role as widower and father of three, Danny Tanner, on the heartwarming television sitcom Full House. He played the same popular character on Netflix's sequel series called Fuller House from 2016 to 2020. It ran for that long? What? Holy. Also hosted, yes, America's Funniest Home Videos from 89 to 97. Saget's family said he died of head trauma, and medical examiner was like, it's true, but from that velocity and the story that you're spinning, I don't really know about that. But yeah, no, that's something. Okay, accidentally hitting his head on something and then going to sleep. Sidney Poitier, wow, 94. I didn't realize that he died this year. I thought that he's been dead for a long time. But yes, probably the most well-known black actors. Probably the first, arguably the best. And then even just, transcending the confines of race, one of the most accomplished and well-respected actors in history. Actor and film director Sidney Poitier passed away on January 6th at the age of 94. Poitier was the first black actor to win the American Award for Best Actor, receiving the award in 1964 for his role in the film Lilies of the Field, won a Special Academy Award in 2002, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2009. Well-deserved. Passed away in his Beverly Hills home, California, due to heart failure. And then Meatloaf, man. Oh, man. Marvin Lee Aday died on January 20th at the age of 74. Noted for his powerful and wide-ranging voice, Aday alternated between music and the stage throughout his career. Yes, Bat Out of Hell, Bat Out of Hell 2, Bat Out of Hell 3. Okay. And then also parlaying it, yes, everybody remembers his man titties in Fight Club. Did a role in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yes. Diagnosed with asthma. Aday said he was concerned for his health amid the coof pandemic, but at the same time, he was deeply critical of lockdowns and mask mandates. Man, just lose one of the based ones. He told the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette in August 2021 the mask enforcement had reached power-mad proportions and that if I die, I die. I'm not going to be controlled. Aday's cause of death had not been disclosed. And yeah, I don't remember the uproar or anything like that at the time, but I would imagine some people on social media were probably being less than charitable about the circumstances in which he passed away. Very, very talented singer. Very talented singer. A great loss. I'll be completely honest, I have no idea who this guy is, but just for completion's sake, we'll just, run through everything. Former Vogue editor-at-large, quite large, it looks like. Andre Leon Talley died on January 18th at the age of 73. Talley was an influential fashion journalist who worked at Women's Wear Daily and Vogue and was a regular at the front row of fashion shows in Europe and the United States. Okay, cool. It died of a heart attack, according to Vogue. A very tragic condolences just about a year on to his family. Louis Anderson, another host, another famous host, man. Growing up, I didn't watch many cartoons, don't really have many fond memories of a lot of children's programming. My days, my television consumption mostly consumed of sports and game shows. And Family Feud, he was the host that I first remember. Now, thanks to the Game Show Network and all that stuff, I got to go back and see Richard Dawson and all that stuff. But Louis Anderson, my exposure, to him was, that brief period of time, but he was right there. He was very funny, at least from what I can remember, hosting that, and also, a well-celebrated comedian, and some of his jokes were, I'll move this out, I'll move my mic stand out of the way so you can see me better, and if I didn't sweat, I'd explode. Had a very, very difficult life growing up, and if you're an old-school Opie and Anthony fan like I am, he was mocked ruthlessly about growing up in an abusive family, and my dad would beat me with a whiskey bottle. Like, no shade against them, and I know we're supposed to be doing like this big long eulogy thing, but that's what I kind of most associate him with now. But Anderson wrote 4 books, including Hey Mom, Stories for My Mother, but you can read them too, a tribute to the wisdom imparted by his mother. Yeah, she was very compassionate towards me, and maybe that led to my closeted homosexuality. He died of cancer-related complications after suffering from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, according to his publicist. Yeah, that sucks, man. Jokes aside, was a very accomplished, actor, comedian. Little Louie, the little animated show that he had as well. He was on Scrubs. Dude, I watched Scrubs. I don't remember the cameos, but I guess, right? And Touched by an Anvil. Yes, he was on all the greats. Sheldon Silver, former New York Assembly Speaker. Sheldon Silver died on January 24th at the age of 77. A Manhattan Democrat, and he probably got like the golden casket treatment because, Democrat in New York after all. Silver died while in federal custody with no cause of death disclosed. Oh, he was a criminal. Oh, he's a Democrat. Why did I need to be redundant? 2 conviction appeals. Of corruption charges. One of the state's most powerful figures in state government for 2 decades before being convicted on corruption charges. Okay, so no longer a taxpayer burden. P.J. O'Rourke, satirical writer and journalist. P.J. O'Rourke died on February 15th at the age of 74. Former editor-in-chief of National Lampoon's Humor magazine. Oh, man. That's why 2022 was so devoid of actual comedy. Some incidental comedy definitely manifested throughout the year, but, man, all the good ones, they're reaching that age. And at least the 74, you get to live a fairly long career, or fairly long life, sorry. Rourke had bylines as correspondent and right-leaning political commentator in such publications as Rolling Stone. Wow, back when they used to tolerate that. And The American Spectator. He wrote 20 books, including Holidays in Hell, a collection of his articles as a war correspondent. O'Rourke died due to complications from lung cancer, his publisher said. Oh man, that sucks. Bob Beckel. Former Fox News host Bob Beckel died on February 20th at the age of 73. Before starting his career in cable news, Beckel worked in former President Jimmy Carter's administration. In the 90s, he co-hosted CNN's Crossfire Sunday. Back when CNN actually would present both sides of the argument. He later joins Fox News, The Five, when it was created in 2011. And shout out to The Five, I guess, for whatever that means. They were the most watched cable news show of 2022. So to just throw that on top of everything. No cause of death has been disclosed. He was 73 and rather large. I think you can kind of connect the dots. But okay, I made reference to some stuff that I used to watch, way back in the day in my childhood. I can thank my father for introducing me to baseball and sports at a very young age, but something else that was always watched all the time, especially if my dad ever had like a day off from work or something like that. Something that always got watched. Well, whenever he was sick, the go-to movie would always be Tombstone, which is, pretty great. Kurt Russell and Sam Elliott, and retelling of the Wyatt Earp story in Tombstone, Arizona. Great movie. But something that was always on all the time was MASH, okay? And Sally Kellerman's Hot Lips. Yeah, come on, man. Even though, show's ancient as fuck at this point in time, man. I do remember her and watched a hell of a lot of MASH. Actress Sally Kellerman, died on February 24th at the age of 84. The Oscar and Emmy-nominated actress had a career spanning more than 6 decades in both film and television. On the big screen, Kellerman played U.S. Army Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan in director Robert Altman's 1970 film. Kellerman appeared in a number of popular TV series, including Western Cheyenne, Star Trek's not a Western, and Twilight Zone. Kellerman died of heart failure, according to her publicist. She was 84 years old. Nice long life right there. And then moving along to March. Man, William Hurt. Really? Holy... I guess I didn't hear that. Okay, Oscar-winning actor William Hurt died on March 13th at age 71. Hurt was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor 3 times in the 80s, including Kiss of the Spider-Woman, in which he won an Oscar. He played General Thaddeus Ross in the Marvel film. Oh, yes. Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Black Widow. Family said he died of natural causes at 71. And yes, his role as Thunderbolt Ross is going to be reprised now by somebody who's actually older than him. So hopefully he gets to go to screen on that one. But William Hurt, man, hell of a good talent. That sucks, man. Missed out on that one. John Clayton. He looks awfully familiar, doesn't he? Longtime journalist who covered the NFL. Oh, right. He was the bird guy on the NFL. Right. Okay. John Clayton died on March 18th at age 67. Nicknamed the Professor, Clayton spent more than 2 decades covering the Pittsburgh Steelers for the Pittsburgh Press and the Seattle Seahawks for the News Tribune in Tacoma. In 95, he moved to ESPN, becoming one of the lead NFL writers for the company. Yeah, he was always on, back when that was tolerable, like Around the Horn or PTI. Sometimes he'd get little spots on that as well. I remember him, but I have no fond memories. Sucks though, 67's not that old, man. Condolences to his family. Taylor Hawkins, yeah, this one got a lot of press, but it's the Foo Fighters, and it's not Dave Grohl. Does anybody really care? Longtime Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins died on March 26th at age 50. He was a drug addict. He died while on tour with the Foo Fighters in Colombia, with authorities later confirming the presence of toxins in his system at death. And yeah, he left behind quite the family, and again, another reason why I'm so terribly and vociferously against Vice, because that'll knock you out well before your time. Madeleine Albright. Ugh. Former administration official Madeleine Albright died far too fucking late before all the damage was done. Albright was Secretary of State between 97 2001 under Bill Clinton. Major champion for NATO's expansion. A fucking globalist warmonger, died of cancer. Couldn't have come a moment too soon. Tommy Davis, Major League icon. Tommy Davis died April 3rd at the age of 83. 2-time MLB batting champion and 2-time All-Star. Played 18 seasons in the majors, including 8 with the Dodgers. Outfielder, played some time at third base. Davis won back-to-back batting titles with the Dodgers, holds a single-season club record with 230 hits and 153 RBIs. Holy, ain't nobody coming close to that in today's day and age, even with Rob Manlet's efforts to increase offense. But this guy was getting it done way back in the cut, and 153 RBIs. You're lucky to have a handful of guys hit 100 RBIs, so good luck. But yo, man, this one sucked right here. Like, okay, touched on that earlier with the National Lampoon's editor passing away, PJ O'Rourke. I remember his name. Gilbert Gottfried, one of the funniest dudes ever, man. And you know what, the way that he went out, just a total mensch. Actor and legendary stand-up comedian known for his raspy voice, crude jokes, and his unabashed commitment to humor. It's just so funny, man. Like, I don't normally recommend Howard Stern, but those old tapes, if you can find them, I know that there's some archives on YouTube, man. Go back and listen to some of that stuff. This dude was ruthlessly funny. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Gottfried started doing amateur stand-up when he was just 15 years old. Came to national attention with frequent appearances on MTV and had a brief stint in the 80s as part of Saturday Night Live cast. But yeah, no, Iago in Aladdin, okay. Aflac Duck, which he ended up getting tossed for because he made one of the funniest fucking tsunami jokes about Japan not long after they had a massive tsunami. Like, again, he was ruthlessly funny, man, and they just don't make him like that anymore. Gottfried died from a rare genetic muscle disease that, yes, he was fighting, but didn't let a soul know about it. Just a total champ right there at the end. My God. Orrin Hatch, to just make one of the harshest turns on this one. Okay. Former Utah Senator Orrin Hatch, a Republican who was the longest serving senator in U.S. history, died on April 23rd at the age of 88. Hatch served as a senator for over 4 decades under 8 presidents, and normally I would have a problem with that, and I still do, term limits when. Strong conservative voice in Congress. That's not what I'm actually, going to give him big ups for. Hatch sponsored or co-sponsored over 750 bills that would later become law. He was actually doing stuff. What did Joe Biden do? Because I think probably at the end of his term, okay, add up everything that he's done in public office, he might be there for a little bit longer. I'm not exactly entirely sure of the attendance record for Hatch, how long he was there, but for God's sakes, man, 750 bills, sponsored or co-sponsored. He was doing shit, okay? He was getting elected and going to Washington and making it happen, as opposed to everybody else that's just there to collect a paycheck and to just give little talking head interviews wherever anybody's going to give him the opportunity to speak into a camera or into a microphone. Like, big ups to him. Still, 4 decades in public office is a little too long for my liking, but if you're going to be doing that, put some fucking work in. And that's what Hatch was doing. So I appreciate him for that. He was awarded the Medal of Freedom in 2018 by Donald Trump. No cause of death has been disclosed. Well, 88. It's kind of, speaks for itself. Yeah, this is another big one. Okay, like, given the fact that I grew up, regrettably, on country music, I knew the name Naomi Judd. Okay, all the Judd kids. And then, what's her name? Ashley Judd? Was that the actress as well? I think she a daughter? But regardless, okay, Kentucky-born singer Naomi Judd, the coal miner's daughter, right? Or am I getting that mixed up? Female country singers that aren't Dolly Parton, they just kind of wash back into the background. But she was one of the big ones, Naomi Judd. Along with her daughter, Wynonna Judd, she was part of the Grammy-winning duo, the Judds. The beloved country vocalist's death came shortly after the Judds' induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame. At least you got to see that, okay? Her family said her passing was related to the disease of mental illness. What does that mean? You're 76. I would imagine complications due to Alzheimer's, and man, it's just the most tragic way to go out. Could be different, but yo man, that sucks. That really sucks. Fred Ward. What? I didn't even hear about this. You know the face, okay? If you're seeing the picture right now, if you aren't just listening to this in the background, you see Fred Ward's face. You know you've seen him in different movies that are out there. You just can't pin him down. And he was 79. Holy. Actor Fred Ward on May 8th passed away at the age of 79. Started his acting career in the 1970s after 3 years of service as a member of the U.S. Air Force. Wow. First major big screen appearance was 1979 classic Escape from Alcatraz, a film based on true events which portrays a prisoner escaping the maximum security of prison. No cause of death had been disclosed, but again, check the dates. 79, bro. Vangelis. You don't know the name, but you probably know the sound. He was Hans Zimmer before Hans Zimmer ever decided to blow into a French horn. Greek composer Vangelis wrote the Academy Award-winning score for the film Chariots of Fire, died on May 17th at the age of 79. Vangelis also wrote the scores for Ridley Scott's Blade Runner and 1492 Conquest of Paradise, received numerous awards over a long and storied career. Several other films as well. Like, he was the guy to write a score back in the cut. Little is known about his personal life, except he was an avid painter and one hell of a musician. Died of heart failure in a Paris hospital. Too much jizz and wine. Again, don't want to throw too much shade on him, but the guy was a legend, 79 years old. Contributed quite a bit to society. Rest in peace. And this one sucks, man. Ray Liotta, 67. A guy who's just really, really coming back to finally get his due in Hollywood. Because, yeah, okay, everybody knows he was in Goodfellas, okay? He was Henry Hill. He was tremendous as Henry Hill. Field of Dreams, like, he was in so many good things. And then his ticker gave out. It's like, fuck. Ray Liotta died on May 26th at the age of 67, following several smaller roles in film and on the big screen in the early 80s. Liotta starred in Field of Dreams in 89, and then in 1990, the best year ever, landed his major role in Martin Scorsese's gangster drama Goodfellas. Yeah, playing Henry Hill, yelling at Karen. That was all the money we had, Karen! Fuck you, pay me. God damn it, I love that film. Might have to watch it. Liotta died in his sleep in the Dominican Republic when he was shooting the film Dangerous Waters, according to his publicist. And yeah, he was going to be getting a couple of different streaming gigs, and I would have loved to see him in whatever form or fashion, the new MCU is going to take. Like, there's a couple of big actors that were out there that could have had decent roles and maybe spark some interest for some people to come back and check that shit out. But yeah, man, it didn't end up happening in 67. Oof. Ronnie Hawkins, 87, a rockabilly star from Arkansas who became an icon in the Canadian music scene after moving north. Don't ask me, man. You're going to have to point him out, because here's another hot take. Canadian music fucking blows, okay? Rush can take that as a command and fall face first down a mountain. It's shit. Fucking prog rock is garbage, okay? The Guess Who? Yuck. Nickelback kind of speaks for itself. Justin Bieber, you're welcome. Do I need to continue to go down the line? Tragically Hip, you probably haven't heard about him for good fucking reason. It's all just banal nonsense. It's been the same fucking tone and tempo since the 1970s, but condolences to the Hawkins family. The Huntsville native had minor hits on the 50s and then ran up a club in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where so many early rock stars like Conway Twitty, not Kanye Twitty, even though Ye doing rockabilly would be kind of funny. Anyways, and Jerry Lee Lewis performed with or without his underage cousin. A year later, he moved up to Canada to set up the Hawks, which after Hawkins left was renamed the Band. Oh shit, at least he inspired something good. Received awards from his adopted country, and in 2013 was named a member of the Order of Canada. Oh, okay, cool. So that's like our version of knighting notable people, where over in the UK, you've knighted most of Zeppelin, the Stones, the Beatles. We've afforded our version of the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Ronnie Hawkins. But 87 is a life well lived, and you definitely contributed to quite a few different things. And I just don't know all that much about you. May 29th, though, 87 years old. You made it. Hugh McElhenney, 93, iconic Hall of Fame halfback. Oh man, back when the running game was appreciated, was one of just 3 NFL players to have gained over 11,000 all-purpose yards. Died on June 17th, age 93. Nicknamed the King. Imagine being the king of the NFL. That's worthy of notation on this list. McElhenney was a dazzling figure in the 50s world of pro football. First with the University of Washington and later with the San Francisco 49ers. And 146 career regular season games in 13 seasons in the NFL. He rushed for 5,281 yards, 38 touchdowns, had 3,247 yards, and 20 touchdowns receiving. My man was the first two-way halfback out there. Elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1970 and College Football Hall of Fame in 81. What took you so long? No cause of death was disclosed, but again, 93. Life incredibly well lived. It definitely left a mark. Philip Baker Hall passed away June 12th at the age of 90. Hall initially focused mostly in theater, including memorable performance as former President Richard Nixon in the one-act play Secret Honor while working with the LA Actor Theater. On the big screen, he played gambler in Paul Thomas Anderson's feature debut in 1997, The Hard Eight, which catapulted Hall to fame. Would later appear in Say Anything, The Truman Show, Talented Mr. Ripley, Zodiac, Argo, Rush Hour, among other titles. He's another one of those people where you look at him, it's like, I know him. He's from one of my favorite films. I can't remember which one, but definitely accomplished and another life well lived at 90 years old. I didn't hear about this one. Marion Barber, man. He used to play, for the Dallas Cowboys. What happened to him? Died of heat stroke, according to Collin County Medical Examiner's Office at June 1st at the age of 38. Sheesh, man. Spent much of his professional football career for the Dallas Cowboys. Big boy out there on the field. I remember him trucking through motherfuckers. I described him as one of the fiercest running backs had ever played for the team. Yeah, that's for true, because picking up the slack for Tony Romo at the time, whenever he was having a bad game, just handed off to Barber, and he would run motherfuckers over, making linebackers look like children. Oh, man, just a tough year for gangster films, too, and I remember when this one went down, but another sad story, man. James Caan, I know, 82, it's like, it's 82, but still. Big screen role as a gangster, Sonny Corleone in The Godfather, catapulted him to fame, starred in a string of television shows and movies, yes, Las Vegas and TV, okay, and unfortunately had to take a fuck ton of terrible fucking films, mostly because of a horrific divorce that he ended up going through. Starred in films such as, Misery, I'll give you that one. Kathy Bates just being one of the creepiest broads ever. Queen Bees, Bulletproof, That's My Boy, Four Christmases. Oh God, what are some of those other horrific ones? There's a mafia film that he starred in. He was the Don that involved vampires. It's like just a whole bunch of fucking atrocious shit. So thankfully he got to finally be laid to rest in quite a different fashion than what Sonny Corleone faced, let's be completely honest. Ivana Trump, yes, fell down the stairs, unfortunately, and there was so much hubbub about this one, but man, what a good woman, if we're going to be completely honest about this. Okay, if anybody wants an example of somebody that's not in film or not in television, that's a strong woman, okay, who can operate and run a boardroom, that's the lady right there, okay? Former President Donald Trump's first wife of many, Ivan Trump. No, that'd be Ivana. Sorry, typo there. Died on July 14th at the age of 73. Her mother was an incredible woman, a force in business, a world-class athlete, radiant beauty, and a caring mother and friend, the Trump family said in a statement about her death. On Truth Social, the former president praised Ivana as a wonderful, beautiful, and amazing woman who led a great and inspirational life. Rest in peace, Ivana. Exclamation point, because Trump writes that. Okay. Ivana married Trump in 1977 and is the mother to to Junior, Eric, yes, and Ivanka. Following their divorce in 92, it's like you could have had a really sweet life if you would have just been all right with Don, doing Don things. But she developed her own line of clothing, jewelry, and other products, and is an author of several books. And yes, she actually is that boss babe that's out there. If anybody wants, a sterling example of, that was her all the way to the end. Fortunately, to the end of a staircase. Michelle Nichols. She was a Huru. Yeah, Star Trek. I didn't watch Star Trek, but I even know her, man. Like, come on. That was, again, man, rough year on transcendent actors. Actress Nichelle Nichols, best known for her role in the original television series of Star Trek, died on July 30th at the age of 89. But hey, man, 89, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. 1966, Nichols was cast as USS Enterprise's Chief Communications Officer, Lieutenant Nyota Uhura, in the original Star Trek series. She would go on to appear in 6 big screen Star Trek spin-offs, and later also served as a NASA recruiter. Yo, man, the only person that's left, and definitely not trying to wish any bad luck out there, but I think the only guy who's left, oh no, there's 2 of them that are left, and one of them, not so much bad luck by naming them that I hope is afforded, but what do you got? Sulu out there, you still got old creepy George Takei, okay, and then you also got William Shatner out there. Like, what's the Shat? It's 93 or something like that, and the old Democrat simp is, I don't know if he's crested 90 yet, but that original series, it's just about done and dusted. That original Star Trek series is an incredible example of how to do diversity on the screen correctly, because yeah, you had a black lady in charge of communications, you had the gay Asian doing navigation, I do believe, then you had a Canadian who can't act as the captain. It was a wild time and everybody loved it. Anyways, Bill Russell, 88 years old. Man, the NBA, for all of its faults, has a really good track record of keeping most of its legends alive. And Bill Russell, man, like I said in the video when I covered it at the time, one of the most influential players in history. Like, if any of those, activists that are out there want to say that, they have it tough right now, this guy was out here winning 11 rings over 13 seasons, okay? Well, he was out doing that, collecting chips out on the court. Guys were breaking into his house and vandalizing it and burning it down because Boston is a wild fucking place. Russell is a Hall of Famer, 5-time most valuable player, 12-time All-Star, led the Celtics to back-to-back titles in 68, 69, one of the greatest centers of all time, back when being a center was an actual legitimate thing. Great guy on and off the court by everybody that he ever spent time with, okay? Nothing but the highest praise for Bill Russell. A legend, an absolute legend. He won it all and he did it all, and retiring the 6 across the league is probably the next step, if we're being completely honest. Oh man, Paul Sorvino? I thought he was already dead, but 83 years old. Again, like I said before, a really bad time for mafia films out there. Paul Sorvino was in every mafia-affiliated property that was out there. Okay, yeah, he was in Goodfellas, teaching Henry Hill how to cook inside the joint. Like, come on, they were making tomato sauce, okay, for all the boys that were inside. Pretty sure he was in The Sopranos as well, because everybody was. Passed away of natural causes on July 25th at the age of 83. Olivia Newton-John, Like I said at the beginning, I'm an old school O&A fan. I can make some terrible fucking jokes, but I'll just go ahead and relay a personal story, okay? Seen Grease a fair amount as a kid, okay? It was one of those VHS tapes that my grandma got us. I think we were spending some time with her over summer vacation. I can't remember the year or anything like that, but we went down to whatever would have been the local version of Blockbuster, because it was just a little town, okay? Just the local video rental place, and they had the bin of VHS tapes, and she said we could get a couple. We got Turner and Hooch, and just because Grease, the VHS tapes, it came in a 2-pack, so you just thought that you got more movie for it, and her being Sandy in that, man, and then looking hot as fuck during the final send-off when she got the leather and the big hair at the end. Yay, fantastic. She was quite the catch back in the day, and yeah, man, she had a really rough time of things health-wise, and in the latter half of her life, but very accomplished, especially back in her home country of Australia. Looked like the cancer metastasized to her spine, and English born. No, she really popped off in Australia, I thought. But anyways, she was definitely a fighter for keeping it around that long. Lamont Dozier, okay, Motown legend. Okay, that's why I don't know. I guess I don't feel bad. It's like James Brown died years ago. Dozier was a prolific singer-songwriter who composed and produced hits such as Stop in the Name of Love. Oh, okay. Baby Love and Two Hearts. Oh, okay. Yeah, so, yeah, okay. He was a songwriter. That makes sense. Part of the songwriting trio that include brothers Brian and Eddie Holland. Dozier and the others wrote and produced dozens of chart-topping songs from various Motown sound producers. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1990. The best year, no cause of death was disclosed. 81's not that old, but who really knows? He definitely left one hell of a lasting mark on the industry, though. Those are three incredibly popular songs, even 70 years after the fact. Holy. Anne Hesh. All right, she got really drunk and plowed into a house. Jesus. This one's actually tragic. It's not like, wow, you really lived a long life and then ended up succumbing to natural causes or, just long-term battles with cancer. No, 53, and yeah, she was doing a podcast, got really sauced behind the wheel, and just went for a fucking drive. Serious car crash in Los Angeles on August 8th, and left her hospitalized as she was taking off life support. It really sucks to her family. 53. Holy. Len Dawson. Yes, the Super Bowl winning quarterback from Super Bowl 3. Yeah, that would have been 3 because the Packers won the first 2. And then, yeah, the first big upset over Johnny Unitas' Colts. Len Dawson, man, legend for the Kansas City Chiefs. Helped vault the Kansas City Chiefs to their first Super Bowl title and first for the AFC, and earned the nickname Lenny the Cool for his swagger. Or was that 4 and the Jets for the 3rd? My mistake, getting my history mixed up. His legendary pro football career, and then one in broadcasting, including for the Kansas City-based television station as part of the Chiefs radio broadcast team, and for more than 3 decades. No cause of death was given, but again, 87 years old. Oh, Mikhail Gorbachev, yes. 8th and final president of the Soviet Union. The world is in a better place because another commie is in the ground. I understand he took down he took down the Berlin Wall and all that stuff. Yeah, great, wonderful, fantastic, but still a commie. The only good commie is a dead commie. Do we want to save the Queen for the end? I think we probably will. We'll come back to that one in a second. Oh man, Coolio, 59 years old. Everybody knows Gangster's Paradise, okay? The first time, okay, funny story. I guess this is becoming kind of a Dawn history as well. First time I ever heard about Coolio, not saying the first time that I ever heard Coolio, was because the first album that I ever got, fun trivia for Dawn, all about a eulogy of everybody who passed away in 2022, first album that I ever got was the MTV album for Weird Al Yankovic, okay? And it had on there, okay, Amish Paradise. What was that a parody of? Coolio's biggest song, Gangster's Paradise, okay? I don't know why they didn't pick a picture of him with, all the funky little antennas off the top of his head. But, man, wrote a tremendous song with a lasting power, and then definitely spun it off to a very lucrative reality television show career. One of the biggest names in 90s hip-hop, I guess. He achieved enormous success with hits like Gangster's Paradise. Can you name another one? No, but that's okay. There's many one-hit wonders that are out there. No official cause of death was revealed. His manager was cited in media reports. Coolio seemed to have suffered a heart attack. Yeah, man, that sucks. 59. Could have had so many funny stories still left untold. Ken Starr, that looks familiar. Oh, independent counsel who investigated then President Bill Clinton. Oh, okay. Also, somebody who had some information that could lead to an arrest of a Clinton ends up dead. Oh, well, a longtime Republican star was also a member of former Donald Trump's impeachment defense team. That's why it looks familiar. For the first round. Nominated by former President Ronald Reagan, yes, to service at the District Court of Appeals and later became a U.S. Solicitor General, yes. His family said he died from surgery-related complications. Yo, that sucks. Yo, we're going to go in and send you off for a surgery, Dad. It's going to make you feel better, and then you just end up dead. Yeesh. Loretta Lynn, there's the coal miner's daughter. I got it screwed up, okay? She was 90, okay? You know, right there up at the top when it comes to female country singers. It's like there's Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton, everybody else just kind of subsists in their shadow. Lynn was already a mother of 4 when she launched her career in the early 60s. Yep. And her songs reflected pride in her rural Kentucky background. Oh, she's definitely one of the real ones. Chosen Artist of the Decade for the 70s by the Academy of Country Music, won 4 Grammys, received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2013. Justifiably so. At one point, she teamed up with singer Conway Twitty and was one of the most popular duos in country music. She died peacefully in her sleep. That's about the best you can hope for. Congratulations. Oh man, Angela Lansbury, gosh darn. Star of Murder, She Wrote, died on October 11th at the age of 96. She got a long old life, and I know that touched, her passing touched a lot of people out there, because Murder, She Wrote, well, I didn't watch it. I know, like, I had family members who definitely did, and a lot of people watched the stuff. Ran for 256 episodes. She also passed peacefully in her sleep in Los Angeles, according to her family. 96 years old. Yep. Jerry Lee Lewis. I already talked about him. What? I forgot this one. Okay, October 29th. Probably passed away. No cause of death was revealed, but 87. Okay, goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Whole lot of shaking going on. The scandal led to him getting blacklisted from the radio and his career sputtered. Yes. After he rose to prominence alongside Elvis, Johnny Cash, you know, all of those guys back in the cut, but after decades of struggle that included the IRS seizing property over to cover a tax debt, battles with substance abuse, personal bankruptcy, Lewis was inducted into the Rock and Roll and Country Music Hall of Fame. Lewis died at his home in Detesto County, Mississippi, with his 7th wife, Jerry, what the fuck? Christine McVie. Oh, right, part of Fleetwood Mac, right? Man, still got the 2 big ones. Still got Mick Fleetwood and Stevie Nicks still around. No, I jest. That Fleetwood Mac, hell of a band. Steady presence and personality in the band, known for its frequent lineup changes and volatile personalities. Yeah, that's one of those stories. If they ever want to do a rock documentary a la Johnny Cash, Ray, even the Elvis one. Was that one any good? Because that came out this year, and I didn't hear much about that after the fact that it got released. But the story of Fleetwood Mac would be one hell of a good one to tell. Passed away peacefully at hospital with family by her side after a short illness. Yo, that sucks, man. Ray Guy. Oh, man, as a Raiders fan, the best punter ever. Ray Guy, man. One of those initial, it's like, what is Al Davis doing with the Raiders picking a punter so high? And it's like, for good reason, man. Ray Guy, 3-time Super Bowl champion, was picked to this NFL's 75th anniversary, and it's all and his 1970s all-decade team. Ended his career in 1986 with a streak of 619 punts without having a single one blocked. My guy was a legend, man. An absolute legend. And this one sucked. This one happened earlier this month. Kirstie Alley went from absolute stunner in the 80s to laughingstock in the 2000s, and then just became kind of a social media pundit towards the end. She was another one. Got to give her big ups for this. Nobody knew about her illness. She didn't put it out there on Front Street to try to elicit sympathy for anybody. Family said Allie passed away after a battle with cancer that had only recently been discovered. Didn't make mention of it at all whatsoever. Just went dark on social media, and then all of a sudden some screen came up. It's like she's passed away peacefully. It's like, yo, what the fuck, man? She was a good one. That sucks. That really sucks. Oh man, the Cookie Monster passed away? What the? Anyways, Sesame Street founding cast member Bob McGrath died on December 8th at age 90. His final Sesame Street appearance in 2017 marked a nearly 50-year run for the character. Holy And now the stupid Cookie Monster is just, eating vegetables or some dumb shit like that while they're continuing to preach trans propaganda. Sesame Street has fucking fallen, my guy. Oh yeah, and Franco Harris earlier this month, that was a shock out of nowhere. And again, as a Raiders fan, intrinsically you hear the name Franco Harris, the Immaculate Reception immediately pops up, and then you just think that he picked that ball off the fucking turf. But Franco Harris was, probably the best running back in Steelers history, especially during the most illustrious time for the Steelers during the 70s. And even though that was back way back before my time, I heard stories about all that stuff, but nothing but reverence for Franco Harris and the Steelers, because it's probably the classiest organization in all of football. Did them a solid long after the fact. They retired as number 26, 32. I don't know where 26 came from. They retired the number. They recognized the man. Nothing but respect, okay? Nothing but respect for Franco. Kathy Whitworth, okay, I was going to say, it's like, no. We just thankfully got to celebrate the birthday of Bob Barker not that long ago. Legendary golfer Kathy Whitworth died on December 24th. Oh, man, on Christmas Eve, that sucks. 88 career wins on the LPGA Tour. Are those really wins? No, I'm just joking. Are the most by any player on a single professional tour, giving her claim to the title of the most winningest golfer in history. Asterisks on the women's game. Whitworth's wins exceed the men's tour, but against, less stiff competition. But let's be completely honest, definitely a pioneer on the LPGA Tour, but as the LPGA Tour, okay? It still sucks for her family, though. 83, definitely an OG on the golf game, especially on the ladies' side. But all things considered, to wrap this up, it would be absurd to end on anything else, especially on that dud. But again, no shade to the Whitworth family, okay? I'm just saying, it's not quite as significant as the longest reigning monarch, somebody who had a 70-year reign on the British throne, okay? Queen Elizabeth passing earlier this year, the most significant death in my lifetime. I can't even think of anybody that would be appropriately comparable. The longest serving monarch in British history, Queen Elizabeth II, passed away on September 8th at the age of 96. Born Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor on April 21st, 1926. She was just 25 years old when she became the Queen. Her televised coronation in June of 1953 as Elizabeth II was a celebration that was seen as ending an era of post-war austerity and gloom. She celebrated her Platinum Jubilee, the first time a British monarch had ever ruled for 70 years earlier this year. Queen Elizabeth II died of old age, according to official documents. Yes, she was 96 years old. Queen Mum made it to over 100, but it was a long time coming. It didn't really soften the blow for anybody who was even expecting this to come. It's just one of those things that was felt throughout the world, and definitely the most significant passing of this year, but that is not to diminish anybody else on this list. It was definitely a year of loss, and some of these people will be included in some of the biggest stories of the year, but I figure it appropriate to, give everybody their dues right here on our final day of 2022. Hopefully there aren't any late additions onto this list and I end up missing anybody. But yeah, QE2 is far and away the most significant passing of 2022. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gun and get after it. Take care, everyone.